Let us begin with a lie, a beautiful, comforting, and utterly pervasive lie. You have been told in 1,000 different ways that happiness is a destination you can reach, that it is a state of being you can achieve once you solve your problems, once you accumulate enough wealth, once you find the perfect partner, once you cultivate a perpetually positive mindset. This lie is the foundation of modern self-help, the engine of consumer culture, and the source of a deep, unspoken anxiety that thrums beneath the surface of your life. Because what happens when you achieve the goal and you are not happy? What happens when you force a smile and still feel empty? The answer, we are told, is to try harder, to be more positive, to want more things. This, my friend, is the feedback loop of modern misery. It is a hamster wheel that leads nowhere, and it is time to step off. What if I told you that the secret to a good life, a truly meaningful and satisfying life, has nothing to do with gaining more, but everything to do with caring less? Now, before you misunderstand me, I am not advocating for apathy. I'm not suggesting you become a numb, dispassionate spectator to your own existence. That is not freedom. That is another form of prison. The philosophy we are about to explore, drawn from the radical and liberating pages of Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, is about a different kind of liberation. It is about the profound, strategic, and deeply personal art of choosing what to care about. It is about realizing that your fucks, your emotional energy, your attention, your Fs, are the most valuable currency you possess. They are finite. You have a limited supply for your entire life. And so, the most critical decision you will make every single day is where to spend them. This is the subtle art. It is not indifference. It is fierce, intentional, and discerning investment in the things that truly matter, and a conscious, deliberate withdrawal of investment from the things that do not. To understand this, we must first confront a fundamental, unshakable truth about existence. Life is a continuous, unending series of problems. From the moment you are born, struggling for your first breath, to the moment you take your last, you will be faced with problems. There is no plateau of perpetual ease. There is no finish line where you finally get to rest and have no more problems. The pursuit of a problem-free life is not only futile, it is the very definition of insanity. It is like a fish pursuing a water-free life. Problems are the medium in which we live and move and have our being. So, if problems are inevitable, the entire framework of your quest for happiness must shift. The question is no longer, how do I find a life with no problems? The real question, the game-changing question, is this: what set of problems do I want to have? What struggles are meaningful to me? The happy person is not someone who has no problems. The happy person is simply someone who has chosen problems they enjoy solving. The dedicated parent wants the problem of a crying baby at 3 a.m. because it comes with the profound value of nurturing a life. The passionate entrepreneur wants the problem of a failing marketing campaign because it is part of the grand struggle of building something from nothing. The artist wants the problem of a creative block because the struggle to break through it is what gives the eventual breakthrough its meaning. Happiness, therefore, is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of problems we find worthwhile. It is the feeling of progress as we solve them. Your fucks must be invested in these chosen struggles. Everything else is noise. This realization forces us to dismantle one of the most damaging cultural myths of our time, the cult of positivity. We are drowning in a sea of mandatory optimism. We are told to think positive, to vibrate higher, to eliminate negative emotions from our lives. This is not only impossible, it is emotionally violent. It teaches us that sadness, anger, fear, and disappointment are failures. It tells us that when we feel pain, something is wrong with us. This creates what Manson brilliantly identifies as the feedback loop from hell. It works like this. First, you experience a legitimate, human negative emotion, Let's say anxiety about a presentation at work. This is the first level problem. Then, because you have been conditioned to believe that anxiety is bad and that you shouldn't feel it, you begin to feel anxious about feeling anxious. You judge yourself for your own feeling. You think, why can't I be more confident? What's wrong with me? This is the second level problem. You are now suffering and then suffering about your suffering. This loop can spiral endlessly, amplifying a simple, manageable emotion into a full-blown crisis of identity. The way out is not to fight the feeling. It is not to try and positive think your way out of it. The way out is radical acceptance. You must learn to sit with the discomfort, to observe the anxiety without judgment, to say to yourself, I am feeling anxiety right now. My heart is beating fast. My palms are sweaty. This is a physiological response to a perceived threat. It is uncomfortable, but it is not dangerous. It will pass. When you stop resisting the emotion, when you stop adding a layer of self-judgment on top of it, you break the loop. The emotion, deprived of the fuel of your resistance, will naturally crest and subside like a wave. You stop being a prisoner to your feelings and become the observer of them. This is the first crucial step in reclaiming your fucks. You stop wasting them on fighting your own humanity. This leads us to the most empowering and perhaps the most frightening realization in the entire book. You are always choosing. In every single moment, you are the gatekeeper of your mind. You are choosing your values. You are choosing what to care about. We love to play the victim. We love to say, he made me so angry, or this situation is giving me so much anxiety. This is a lie. No one can make you feel anything. They can behave in a certain way, and you can choose to feel angry in response. When you are stuck in traffic, fuming and pounding the steering wheel, you are choosing to value your punctuality over your inner peace. You are investing a fuck in a situation you cannot control. When you are crushed by a critical comment from a stranger online, you are choosing to value that person's anonymous opinion over your own self-worth. You are handing them a precious fuck they did not earn. You are not a passive receptacle for your emotions. You are an active participant in their creation. Your values are the compass that directs your fucks. If your compass is broken, if you value trivial things like always being right, or being liked by everyone, or having a perfectly clean house at all times, then you will constantly be spending your fucks on things that do not truly matter, and you will feel perpetually drained and unfulfilled. The work then is to audit your values, to ask yourself, is this value helping me? Is it giving me problems I enjoy solving, or is it causing me unnecessary pain? Let us talk about some of the key values that the subtle art of not giving an F proposes we adopt to guide our fuck budget. The first, and perhaps the most important, is radical responsibility. This does not mean you are to blame for everything bad that happens to you. It means you are 100% responsible for how you respond to everything that happens to you. Your car breaks down. That is a circumstance. Your reaction, the frustration, the blame, the panic, or the calm problem solving is your responsibility. You were laid off from your job. That is a circumstance. Your response, the self-pity, the bitterness, or the decision to update your resume and explore new opportunities is your responsibility. This concept is the bedrock of empowerment. When you stop blaming external forces, your parents, your boss, the economy, bad luck, for your emotional state, you reclaim your power. You move from being a leaf blown by the wind to being the captain of your own ship. It is terrifying because it means there is no one else to blame. It is liberating for the exact same reason. The second essential value is the pursuit of failure. Our culture is obsessed with success. We worship it. But success is a terrible teacher. Success tells you what you already know. Failure, on the other hand, is the raw data of life. It is the uncompromising feedback that tells you what is not working. The person who has never failed has never tried anything difficult, and has therefore never truly grown. You must learn to see failure not as a mark of shame, but as a necessary step in the process of getting less wrong. Adopt the mindset of a scientist. Your life is your laboratory. Every action is an experiment. Every failure is a result. The scientist does not weep when a hypothesis is disproven. She gets excited because she has just eliminated a dead end and is one step closer to the truth. You must go out and seek failure. You must be willing to be bad at something in order to eventually become good. Every fuck you invest in a project that fails is not a fuck wasted, it is a fuck invested in your education. The third value is the power of no. To say a full, heartfelt, and committed yes to the things that truly matter, you must become a master of saying no to almost everything else. Every yes is, in reality, 1,000 no's. When you say yes to a committed relationship, you are saying no to other romantic possibilities. When you say yes to mastering a craft, you are saying no to countless hours of leisure and distraction. Most of us are terrible at saying no. We say yes out of guilt, out of a desire to be liked, out of a fear of missing out. And in doing so, we dilute our fucks. We spread them so thin that they become meaningless. Be ruthless in your no's. Guard your time and your attention with ferocity. This is the only way to ensure you have an abundance of fucks to give to the few things that deserve them. All of this introspection, this value auditing, this conscious choosing is framed by one ultimate, non-negotiable and deeply grounding truth. You are going to die. I am going to die. Everyone you have ever loved, everyone you have ever admired, everyone you have ever despised will one day cease to exist. This is not a morbid thought to be suppressed. It is the ultimate tool for prioritization. The ancient philosophers called this memento mori, the remembrance of death. When you hold the reality of your own finite existence in your mind, the trivialities that once consumed your fucks begin to evaporate. That argument you had with your co-worker? Meaningless. That fear of what people will think if you pursue your strange passion? Absurd. The desperate need to accumulate more possessions than you could ever need? A hollow game. The awareness of death forces a brutal, beautiful honesty upon you. It makes you ask, with a clarity you can find nowhere else, is this the story I want to be living? Are these the values I want to embody with my one precious, fleeting life? Is this person, this project, this struggle worth my limited time and my limited fucks? Against the backdrop of your own mortality, the answer becomes stunningly clear. So what is the final takeaway? What is the subtle art in practice? It is this: stop trying to be happy. Stop chasing the easy, positive, problem-free life. That path is a mirage that leads only into the desert of anxiety and dissatisfaction. Instead, find something you care about more than you care about your own comfort. Find a cause, a relationship, a creative pursuit, a struggle that is so meaningful to you that the pain and the problems it creates are not only acceptable, but welcome. Find something that makes the fear of failure a worthy risk, the pain of practice a sacred ritual, and the inevitability of death a motivator to live with intensity and purpose. Choose what you give a fuck about with brutal, unflinching honesty. Be wrong, fail often, take radical responsibility, and say no with conviction. And never ever forget that this will all end. Because when you do that, when you stop giving a fuck about the wrong things, the opinions, the poserism, the trivial anxieties, the endless consumption, you free up all the energy, all the passion, all the fucks you need to actually build a life that is, on its own messy, complicated and beautiful terms, good. The choice, as always, is yours.